Austin Pemberton didn't knock. The conference room door slammed open like he owned the place, which technically his daddy did. I was mid-sentence explaining our AES 256 encryption protocol to 3 Pentagon officials when this kid strutted in wearing a suit that probably cost more than most people make in a month. "Nate, we need to wrap this up," he announced, not even looking at our guests. "I have real business to discuss. I'm Nathan Richardson, 52 years old, and let me tell you, 22 years in Navy signals intelligence from enlisted sailor to lieutenant commander teaches you to read situations fast. I'd handled classified briefings with admirals who could end careers with a word. This wasn't tactical incompetence. This was deliberate disrespect." Colonel Martinez, who'd been taking notes on our cybersecurity architecture, slowly looked up. Next to him sat Dr. Sarah Walsh from DARPA and Commander Thompson from Naval Intelligence. These weren't junior analysts. They were decision-makers on a $280 million defense contract, and this pampered brat had just dismissed them like they were interrupting his lunch. "Gentlemen," I said, keeping my voice steady, "perhaps we could reschedule for tomorrow morning." After they left, stone-faced and clearly unimpressed, Austin plopped into the head chair like he'd just solved world hunger. The silence stretched until he spoke. "Dad wants to see you in his office. Now. Here's the thing. You got to appreciate the irony. 22 years protecting classified communication systems from submarine operations in the Pacific to counterintelligence work in Norfolk, and I'm getting ordered around by some trust fund kid who probably couldn't spell encryption without spell check. That $92,000 bonus hitting my account in exactly 48 hours wasn't just money. It was Sophia's spring semester at Georgetown, international relations major, Dean's List, my pride and joy. It was also the final payment on the divorce settlement I'd been grinding through for 3 years. Michelle had been patient, but patience doesn't pay lawyers. The walk to Charles Pemberton's corner office felt like walking the plank. Austin strutted ahead, probably thinking he'd just pulled off some masterful power play. What he didn't know was that he'd just triggered something that would bring down their entire company. See, I'd been at Stratton Defense Solutions for 17 years. Started there fresh out of the Navy when we were just 12 engineers crammed into a converted warehouse in Arlington. Back then, the founder, Harold Bennett, was still running things. Harold was old-school Navy himself, enlisted in Korea, worked his way up through the defense industry when it actually meant something. Harold understood that the people who build the technology should control it, not the suits who inherit it. He'd seen what happened when bean counters took over defense contractors. Projects got outsourced to the lowest bidder, security got compromised, and good people got shown the door to make quarterly numbers look better. About 10 years ago, Harold and I had dinner at Murphy's Steakhouse downtown. Nothing fancy, just 2 Navy guys who'd been in the trenches together. Over bourbon and ribeye, he told me something that would change everything. "Nate," he said, cutting into his steak with surgical precision, "I'm writing a special clause into your contract. That $92,000 bonus you earn every year. Once it pays out, all intellectual property rights for our core encryption suite transfer to you legally and permanently." I nearly choked on my old Forester. "Harold, what the hell are you talking about?" "Protection," he said simply. "For you, for the technology, for everything we've built. Board can't sell it, can't give it away, can't let some incompetent ass destroy it." He leaned back, studying my face like he was reading sonar signatures. "This stays between us, my lawyer, and your contract. Nobody else needs to know." At the time, I thought he was being paranoid. The company was stable, profitable, growing. We had solid government contracts, good people, a reputation for delivering on time and under budget. But Harold had survived 3 market crashes and 2 hostile takeover attempts. He knew storms could come from anywhere. "What if the board finds out?" I asked. "Nate, I founded this company. I wrote the articles of incorporation. The board serves at my pleasure, not the other way around." He took a sip of bourbon. "Besides, as long as you stay employed and keep doing good work, this clause never matters. It's insurance, nothing more." That clause sat dormant for a decade. Every year, I'd get my bonus. The IP rights would briefly transfer to me, then automatically revert back to Stratton when I showed up for work the next day. Clean, simple, legal. As long as I stayed employed, the company kept its crown jewels. But Austin had just changed the game. Standing outside his father's office, I could hear raised voices through the heavy oak door. Charles Pemberton wasn't just the CEO, he was fighting for his legacy. 6 months ago, he'd announced a merger with Patterson Tactical Systems, a $280 million deal that would make Stratton the leading cybersecurity contractor on the East Coast. Problem was, that merger depended entirely on our encryption suite, the technology I designed, built, and protected for nearly 2 decades. Without it, Stratton was just another tech company with fancy offices and government connections. The encryption suite wasn't just software. It was a complete security architecture built around RSA 49.6 key exchanges, quantum-resistant algorithms, and hardware security modules I designed specifically for defense applications. Pentagon had been using our stuff for everything from drone communications to naval fleet coordination. You can't just replace that overnight. Charles had been betting everything on this Patterson deal. The defense industry was consolidating fast, and companies that couldn't scale up were getting eaten alive by the big players like Raytheon and Northrop. Patterson had the size and capital. Stratton had the technology. Together, they could dominate the cybersecurity market for the next decade. The door opened. Charles looked like he'd aged 5 years in the past month. Austin bounced in behind me, barely containing his excitement. "Nate," Charles said, not bothering with pleasantries, "we're making some organizational changes." Austin stepped forward, practically vibrating with anticipation. This was his moment, his chance to prove he belonged in the big leagues. "Effective immediately," Austin announced, sliding a termination letter across the mahogany desk. "Your employment with Stratton Defense Solutions is terminated." I looked down at the paper. Clean, professional, final. The date stamp showed today's date, exactly 48 hours before my bonus was scheduled to pay out. The termination was effective immediately. No 2 weeks notice, no transition period, just pack your stuff and get out. Charles couldn't meet my eyes. Thing is, 22 years in the Navy teaches you to recognize when someone's following orders they don't believe in. "HR will handle the transition details," he said quietly. Austin was practically glowing. He thought he was being clever, cutting me out right before payday. Save the company 92 grand and get rid of a guy who'd been around long enough to remember when his daddy actually worked for a living. I picked up the pen and signed without a word. No arguments, no protests, no threats. Just my signature on the dotted line. The silence in that room was deafening. Austin had expected drama, shouting, pleading, maybe some desperate negotiation. Instead, I just stood up, straightened my tie, and headed for the door. "That's it?" Austin called after me. "No speech, no threats?" I turned back, looking him dead in the eye. Good luck with the Patterson merger. His confusion was perfect. He had no idea what he'd just done. Here's what 22 years of handling classified information teaches you. The most dangerous secrets are the ones people forget they told you. HR was waiting outside like security guards. Professional, polite, efficient. They escorted me to my office, watched me pack my personal items, and walked me to the lobby. Standard corporate procedure when you're suddenly a security risk. The funny thing about being terminated 48 hours before a performance bonus, the company still owes you the money. Contract law is pretty clear on that. You earn it during the performance period, they pay it at the scheduled time. Austin's timing wasn't just cruel, it was legally pointless. Except he'd forgotten about Harold's clause. I got home to my empty apartment. Sophia was at Georgetown. Michelle had taken the house in Fairfax. I fired up my computer. The countdown timer I'd built years ago showed exactly 47 hours, 23 minutes, and 14 seconds until bonus payment. When that timer hit 0, I'd owned the most valuable piece of technology Stratton had ever produced. And Austin had just guaranteed I wouldn't be their employee when it happened. My phone started buzzing almost immediately. First call was from Captain Martinez at Northrop Grumman. "Nate, what the hell's going on over there? Heard some punk kid fired you right before the Patterson deal. Word travels fast in the defense contractor world, especially when it involves someone who'd spent 2 decades building systems that keep American assets safe overseas. The Navy community's tight-knit, and news like this spreads through the network faster than classified intel during a crisis. Just a corporate restructuring, Rico. Nothing I can't handle. Nate, you built half the encryption systems the fleet runs on. If you're available, I've got 3 different projects that could use your expertise." I thanked him and let the call go to voicemail when Roger Patterson's name appeared on the caller ID. Roger was smart money. His company had been circling Stratton for 2 years, waiting for the right moment to make their move. Nate, his voice was tight, controlled. "We need to talk. I'm listening." My legal team just flagged something in the merger documents. There's a personnel clause that names you specifically as essential to the technology transfer. Says if you're not with Stratton at closing, we have the right to walk away. I leaned back in my chair, watching the timer count down. That's interesting. Nate, I'm going to ask you straight. Are you still employed by Stratton as of 4 p.m. this afternoon? No. The pause stretched long enough for me to pour myself 3 fingers of bourbon. The good stuff. Blanton's single barrel that Sophia had given me for my last birthday. Jesus, Roger finally said. Do they know about the clause? I doubt it. Another pause. Nate, what would it take to bring you on board with Patterson directly? Now that was the question I'd been waiting for. Let me think about it. Things might be changing in the next day or two. What kind of changes? The kind that make this conversation a lot more interesting. I hung up and allowed myself a smile. Austin had no idea how many dominoes he'd just knocked over. The next morning brought news alerts on my phone. Stratton stock down 8% on merger uncertainty. Some analysts had caught wind of personnel changes and started asking uncomfortable questions. The financial press loves a good corporate drama, and the optics weren't great, firing key personnel right before a major deal closing. By the time I finished my coffee, Austin was calling. His voice had lost all its swagger from yesterday. Nate, we need to talk. I'm listening. There seems to be some confusion about your termination. Maybe we were too hasty. I almost laughed. Confusion. Like accidentally firing your chief architect was just a clerical error. What kind of confusion, Austin? Patterson's lawyers are asking questions about some clause in the merger documents. Something about your role in the technology transfer. Ah, I said, taking a sip of coffee. Section 12, subsection 4, personnel continuity requirements. You know about it, Austin. I helped write that clause. Patterson insisted on it during negotiations. They wanted assurance that key technical personnel would remain through the integration period. The silence stretched. I could practically hear the wheels turning in Austin's head, trying to figure out how he'd missed something so important. The answer was simple. He never read the contracts. Austin was the kind of executive who skimmed executive summaries and left the details to lawyers. Look, Nate, maybe we can work something out. Reinstatement, back pay, maybe even a retention bonus. I'm not coming back, Austin. What do you mean you're not coming back? Nate, this is your life's work. This is your company. No, I said quietly. This was my company. Now it's just another place where people make bad decisions. I hung up and went for a run. 5 miles through Arlington, past the Pentagon, past the memorials, past all the places that reminded me why the work mattered. The encryption systems I'd built weren't just software. They protected American lives. Navy ships in the South China Sea, Army units in Syria, Air Force drones over Afghanistan. Every time some terrorist tried to intercept our communications, my code kept them in the dark. Austin didn't understand that. To him, it was just another product to monetize. When I got back, my old Navy buddy Tom Bradley was calling from his job at Raytheon. Nate, heard you got the boot from Stratton. Has Charles Pemberton lost his mind? His son made the call. Austin? That preppy little weasel? Hell, Nate, he couldn't find his ass with both hands and a GPS. What's Charles thinking? Letting that kid run personnel decisions? Beats me, Tom, but it's done now. Well, if you're looking for work, we could use someone with your clearance level. Still got your TS-SCI? Current through next year? Good. We're bidding on a Navy contract for submarine communications. Right up your alley. After Tom hung up, I sat back and thought about the phone calls. In 24 hours, I'd already had 3 job offers from major defense contractors. Austin thought he was destroying my career. Instead, he just advertised to the entire industry that I was available. My phone buzzed with a text from Sophia. Dad, saw the news about Stratton stock dropping. Everything okay? I texted back, everything's fine, sweetheart. Don't worry about tuition money. Dad's got it handled. She responded with a heart emoji and love you, Dad. That's when it really hit me. Austin hadn't just fired me. He'd tried to mess with my daughter's future. Sophia had worked her butt off to get into Georgetown. Dean's List every semester, internship at the State Department lined up for summer, dreams of working in international relations. No way some trust fund brat was going to derail that. The afternoon brought more calls, Charles Pemberton himself sounding desperate. Patterson's legal team asking pointed questions about intellectual property ownership. A reporter from Defense Week who'd somehow gotten my number. I let them all go to voicemail and pulled up the contract Harold had signed 10 years ago, Section 9, Subsection 3. Clear as day. Upon payment of annual performance bonus, all intellectual property rights for Encryption Suite v3.7 and associated technologies shall transfer to Nathan Richardson, individual proprietor. The clause was airtight. Harold's lawyer had been military JAG before going private. He knew how to write bulletproof language. The transfer was automatic, triggered by bonus payment, irreversible without my written consent. By evening, the story had leaked. Key personnel terminated ahead of major defense merger was trending on LinkedIn. The stock had dropped another 6%. Message boards were full of speculation about what Stratton's board was thinking, firing critical people right before a deal closing. Austin called again around 8 p.m. This time he sounded different, scared. "Nate, my father wants to meet with you tonight. Name your price." "For what?" "To fix this. To make this right. To save the company." I looked at the timer. 19 hours, 31 minutes, 8 seconds. "Austin," I said, "there's nothing to fix. You made your decision yesterday. Now you get to live with it. Nate, please, this merger is everything. My father's legacy, my future, hundreds of jobs. Should have thought about that before you decided to play power games with people's livelihoods." I hung up and poured another bourbon. Outside, the city hummed along, oblivious to the corporate drama playing out in boardrooms and law offices across town. Tomorrow, when that timer hit 0, everything would change. Austin thought he'd outmaneuvered me. Instead, he just handed me the keys to the kingdom. The next morning brought chaos. Stratton stock opened down 18%. Patterson Defense announced they were reviewing certain aspects of the pending merger. Charles Pemberton was photographed leaving an emergency board meeting looking like a man facing a court-martial. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing since dawn. Lawyers, executives, reporters, headhunters. Everyone wanted to know what was happening, what I was planning, what it would take to fix this mess. I ignored them all and went for my morning run. The October air was crisp, leaves turning gold and red along the Potomac. Life has a way of putting corporate drama in perspective when you're watching the sunrise over the Lincoln Memorial. When I got back, there was a black sedan parked outside my building. Charles Pemberton sat in the back seat looking like he'd aged another decade overnight. "Nate," he said as I approached, "please, 5 minutes." I got in the car. Charles had always been straight with me, even when his son was being an ass. Military guys understand chains of command and personal accountability. "My son made a mistake," he said without preamble. "A catastrophic, career-ending mistake. But it doesn't have to destroy everything we've built." "Charles, I've got nothing against you personally. You've always been fair to me. But your boy crossed a line. He's young, stupid, arrogant. I know that." Charles rubbed his face with both hands. "But Nate, this company employs 400 people, good people. Engineers, technicians, support staff, people with mortgages and kids in college. Are you really going to let it all burn because Austin doesn't know how to act professional?" I studied his face. The desperation was real. So was the pain. Charles had built this company from nothing, and now he was watching his son tear it apart. "Charles, what exactly are you asking me to do? Come back. Work with us. Help us get through this merger. Name your terms. Salary, equity, whatever you want. Austin will be reassigned permanently. And if I say no..." He slumped back in the leather seat. "Then we're done. Patterson walks. The stock craters. The board fires me. And Austin inherits whatever's left of the wreckage." I checked my watch. 6 hours, 14 minutes, 33 seconds. "Charles, I need you to understand something. In about 6 hours, none of this is going to matter. Not the merger, not the stock price, not Austin's future. In 6 hours, the game changes completely." "What are you talking about? Ask Harold Bennett's old lawyer. Check the contracts from 2014. Read Section 9 of my employment agreement." His face went pale. Charles was sharp enough to know that when someone mentions a specific contract section, it's not good news. "Nate, what's in Section 9? The reason Austin should have fired me in January, not October." I got out of the car and walked inside. Behind me, Charles was already on his phone, probably calling every lawyer in the building. 4 hours later, my phone rang. Unknown number. Nathan Richardson speaking. This is Sandra Walsh, General Counsel for Stratton Defense Solutions. Mr. Richardson, we need to discuss Section 9 of your employment contract. I'm listening. According to our records, you have a performance bonus scheduled for payment in approximately 2 hours. Is that correct? That's correct. And according to Section 9, payment of that bonus triggers a transfer of intellectual property rights for the core encryption suite. Is that also correct? That's correct. Long pause. Corporate lawyers hate surprises, especially ones that can tank billion-dollar deals. Mr. Richardson, are you willing to negotiate? Negotiate what? A settlement. A resolution that protects all parties' interests. I looked at the timer, 1 hour, 53 minutes, 7 seconds. Sandra, I appreciate the call, but there's nothing to negotiate. Austin terminated my employment. The bonus is contractually guaranteed. The IP transfer is automatic. Everything else is just noise. Mr. Richardson, we're prepared to offer significant compensation. Stock options, cash settlements, executive positions with Austin completely removed from any operational role. No thanks. Mr. Richardson, Austin will be removed from any operational role permanently. You have my word. Sandra, your word isn't worth much right now. Austin should have been removed years ago, but Charles couldn't bring himself to do it. Why should I believe anything's changed? I hung up and made myself a sandwich. Turkey, Swiss, mustard on rye. Simple pleasures matter when the world's falling apart around you. At 4:47 p.m., the timer hit 0. My computer chimed softly. New email notification from the automated contract system I designed years ago. The same system that tracked bonuses, equity vesting, and intellectual property transfers. Transfer complete. All rights to encryption suite version 3.7 and associated technologies now held by Nathan Richardson, individual proprietor. I downloaded the documentation. 47 pages of legal text, all culminating in one simple fact. I now own the technology that made Stratton Defense Solutions valuable. Austin had tried to deny me $92,000. Instead, he'd handed me intellectual property worth about $50 million. My phone rang immediately. Roger Patterson. Nate, please tell me you're taking my calls. I am now. My legal team just confirmed it. You own the encryption suite. I do. Nate, we've been planning this merger for 2 years. We've spent $8 million in legal fees, due diligence, integration planning. His voice had energy now, excitement. But here's the thing. I'm not angry. I'm impressed. Now I can deal directly with the person who actually built the technology instead of going through a bunch of suits who don't understand what they're selling. I'd need to see a proposal. I can have something to you in 2 hours. Full licensing agreement, equity participation, complete creative control. Nate, you built this technology. You should be the one who decides how it gets used. The Patterson proposal arrived via encrypted email while I was having dinner. Exclusive licensing agreement. Minimum guarantee of $75 million over 5 years. Equity participation in Patterson Tactical Systems. Complete creative control over technology development. And here's the kicker. They wanted to hire my entire engineering team from Stratton. Not bad for a day's work. The news broke the next morning like a tsunami hitting the financial district. Defense contractor acquires encryption technology in direct deal, bypasses merger. Every major business outlet picked up the story within hours. Stratton stock opened down 43%. Trading was halted twice in the first hour. Charles Pemberton held a press conference at noon, standing behind a podium in Stratton's corporate headquarters. He looked like a man who'd lost everything, which technically he had. Yesterday, Stratton Defense Solutions lost the rights to our core encryption technology due to a personnel decision made by my son, Austin Pemberton. He read from prepared remarks. This decision was made without board approval and without understanding the contractual implications. As a result, Austin has been terminated from his position and will have no future role in this company. He paused, visibly struggling with the next words. 20 years of building a company, and it all came down to this moment. I want to publicly apologize to Nathan Richardson, whose termination was unjustified and has caused irreparable harm to our company and our shareholders. Mr. Richardson served Stratton with distinction for 17 years and deserved far better treatment. Austin wasn't at the press conference. Word around the industry was that he'd been escorted from the building by security that morning. His company credit cards canceled, his access revoked. Some trust fund kid learns the hard way that daddy's name only protects you so far. 3 months later, Stratton Defense Solutions filed for bankruptcy. The patent portfolio was sold off to pay creditors. Charles Pemberton retired quietly to his house in Martha's Vineyard, where he spends his days sailing and probably wondering where he went wrong. The engineers who joined Patterson, they're building the next generation of defense encryption technology. We've got government contracts worth $500 million over the next 5 years. Sophia's tuition is paid through graduate school now. She's thinking about law school after Georgetown, maybe working in international trade or defense policy. Smart girl who understands that technology and national security go hand in hand. Every morning when I walk into Patterson's offices in Arlington, I pass a framed photo from our first Navy contract signing. Austin's termination letter is framed on my wall too, not out of spite, but as a reminder. Sometimes the best thing that can happen to you is someone showing you the door. The timer on my computer now counts up instead of down. Every second reminds me that patience beats panic, preparation beats politics, and sometimes losing your job is the best thing that ever happened to you.